So, is it necessary for people to go on retreats in order to begin to become more self aware or to just disengage?
I don't think so, and I feel like actually, if anything, sometimes retreats become an obstacle because people get really addicted to retreats like drugs. And then it's like all about just going on the next retreat. Whereas like the whole point of a retreat is a period of focused practice, which, then translates into your daily practice. So I'd say retreats are helpful if you are practicing daily, you know? So every now and then it's okay. It's nice to, and only when you feel like it, not just because you think is going to give you something, only when you deeply feel called to doing the retreat, I say go on the retreat. Now, of course, that's for everybody else to judge on their own. But for me, what I find beneficial is like, I think I've only been to 2 retreats in my entire journey. One was the Vipassana retreat, and one was the 4-day meditation retreat at Self-Realization Fellowship. I have not called to do another retreat yet. In the future, if I really feel called to it, like if I feel like I'm desiring to do it, then I will do it. But it's not needed. The day-to-day practice is needed. People run away from the day-to-day practice, but they want to go on retreats because that's our thing. It's like, hey, give it to me in a short amount of time with the least amount of work. But we have to live the spiritual life, only then the spiritual fruits mature.
So you mentioned a Vipassana retreat. It's the 10-day retreat. Tell us a little bit about what happens in a Vipassana retreat. It has been recommended to me. It's something I'm looking at doing this Christmas, hopefully, for 10 days. Yeah, so tell me, well, I suppose it'll be my first retreat. Like you, I don't have the luxury to go in a retreat at the moment because I have my little ones. So tell me more about this Vipassana retreat.
If you're going to do it on Christmas, then you should try to like start booking it now because sometimes it really gets booked super fast. Yeah, but I say always like go into it without any expectations or desire. Like don't desire for anything to happen on your retreat. Because we go into it with such crazy expectations, and then when that experience isn't meeting what we had expected, then we get frustrated. But a retreat, we should always go like without any expectation, like almost like a beggar. You're going as a beggar to God, and whatever He gives you, you are happy with. You don't dictate what you should get. Same with like I say, we should have that attitude every time we sit to meditate. We should have that attitude every day of our lives with everything. Like a beggar to God. You're not begging for anything, but you're just humbly receiving whatever God gives you. Okay, but that's another topic. All right, the retreat, first 3 days, it's sort of like a preparatory phase. And these will be your hardest days because it's just, you're getting used to then like that new daily routine. The first 3 days are really just, preparatory for the main practice, which is awareness. So the first 3 days will be awareness of breath, and then the next 6-7 days will be awareness of sensation, body scanning. It's sort of very similar to self-inquiry in that way, where self-inquiry, we are sort of turning our gaze, right, the subject, we're turning our gaze to itself, whereas in Vipassana we're just observing, seeing without judgment, without description, narration. When you start to see experience in this way, it brings about a very similar like understanding that you are the changeless perceiver of changeful phenomena, because we feel that, hey, the body is stable, the body is a stable thing that I am. But it's like in Vipassana, you start to observe the body as also a changeful experience. So just like we are very sure that, hey, the world is constantly changing, then through Vipassana, we also start to see that like, hey, the body is also part of that changeful world that is changing. So in the next 7 days, it's like just awareness of body sensation. About almost, I think, 15 hours of meditation per day, with some breaks, of course. I don't think it's like difficult. The only difficult part of it is like just the change from our daily routine of activity and whatnot and compulsiveness. Over there, you really definitely start to see that like you constantly need something to do. But when you don't have anything to do, that's when you're able to just sit with yourself. So it is very powerful. If you feel called to it, I would definitely recommend it.
It has been said that as you said, the first 3 days are difficult, and a lot of people actually quit in those first 3 days, at least over here. I don't know about there, because it's very testing.
Yeah, I heard that too. In my group, not a lot of people quit. So I don't know how true that is. Like, I would say some people, but I think that one needn't be afraid of that. Like, because I wouldn't even say that only if you're a seasoned meditator you should go. You should just go when it calls to you deeply. And because like there were people in my group when I went that there was maybe 1 to 2 people that had never even like, they weren't even necessarily on the spiritual path. Like, a friend told them about the retreat and they were curious, and like they came on the retreat and they were blown away, so it's like it happens in in our journey in so many different ways. If you feel called to it, I would recommend doing it. That's my advice to anybody who wishes to do the Vipassana retreat. It is daunting because it's 10 days, but if you have the time for it, and if you feel called towards it, it might be the greatest thing you can do for yourself. But then translate that into your daily practice.
That's fair enough. I agree with that too.